Life is rhythm. Everything vibrates. Everything flows. At least that's how it should be. My name is Dr. Ulrich Randall. In 1993, my clinical experience had me thinking about why wounds don't heal, why pain doesn't go away despite the best painkillers. This led me to the topic of microcirculation and muscles. I realized that microcirculation is dependent on the rhythm of a muscle, which in all people normally lies in the range between 8 to 12 hertz. Based on this, the matrix rhythm therapy that I'd like to introduce to you in simple words was developed. Matrix rhythm therapy allows simulation of this muscle rhythm coming from outside in a natural way. In order to do this, we constructed a special apparatus. With this resonator, it's possible to gently and flexibly couple into the muscles and re-establish this frequency. Such symptoms will make themselves known in the back and nape of the neck. The mobility of the head is limited. In the area of the jaw, where the so-called bruxism shows itself. These kinds of difficulties can occur along the entire spine in the back when rotation is limited. The shoulders can be impacted by such disturbances in the microcirculation. It can show up in the area of the hip joints, knee joints, and tennis elbow belongs in this category. In all of these cases, matrix rhythm therapy is very applicable. A further area of application is after operations to improve wound healing. Next, it can be applied for athletes to improve regeneration after competition, professional and hobby athletes alike. Spastically debilitated muscles, this could be after a stroke or after birth trauma, can be released through matrix rhythm therapy. This is a blessing for the parents of spastically handicapped children because the digestion suddenly functions and the children also sleep through the night, as parents continue to report. Matrix rhythm therapy works in combination with all other types of manual therapy, such as, for instance, osteopathy. It's, so to say, the extended arm of the therapist. The apparatus can also be used diagnostically to discern between structural and functional symptoms. The question now is, what does the matrix rhythm therapy actually do in the muscles, in the tissue, respectively? If we want to understand the way matrix rhythm therapy works in the muscles, we need to look closer at the details. Here I have for you a muscle cell, and the muscle pulsates, as we already know, at a pulse of 8 to 12 hertz, and the cell is surrounded by constantly moving fluid, by the so-called extracellular matrix, much like a fish in water. The nutrients come through the capillaries that run past it here, and there's no direct connection between the capillary and the cell, but rather only the extracellular area. When a disturbance arises here, a disturbance in the supply and elimination process, the cell suffers and can no longer pulsate. It contracts, and this would be the actual tension. The tension we must now release by externally applying a crank to bring the cell back into its rhythm. The fluids flow, and the cell can once again follow its normal rhythm and do its job accordingly. In my right hand, you see a pomegranate as a representation of healthy tissue, highly elastic, tautly and elastically filled with water. In contrast to this, on the other side, a pomegranate that suffers visibly. It's nearly dried out and shrunken, and this is exactly what happens in our body when cells suffer. They contract, and during this transition, symptoms arise, pain sets in, and so on. In order to understand more fully what goes on in the body, imagine a cell in the body like a fish in an aquarium. Now, using this example, cut off the oxygen supply to the aquarium, stop the exchange of water, and in the end pour in some harmful substance. How long do you believe a fish would survive in this sewer? How long would a cell survive in such a matrix? Matrix rhythm therapy puts the regeneration process back into motion. I would now like to use an exercise to show you how this affects the whole body. Stand up straight, open your arms and breathe deeply in and out. Now try this without breathing. Ask yourself which feels better. Which way do you feel more power in the movement? The same goes for our cells. Without oxygen, they are alive, but at a clearly reduced energy level. The matrix rhythm therapy brings the entire system back to uninhibited vibration. Life is rhythm. Everything vibrates, everything flows. At least that's how it should be.